Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So usually whenever I'm filming about something as specific as the goats or what the garden's doing, I actually prefer to be in one of those spaces showing you guys what's actually going on. But right now I'm actually dealing with a bit of a collarbone injury, so it's kind of difficult for me to hold the phone, and this is a nice shaded spot that's really comfortable for me to sit and talk, and plus I really enjoy looking at the woods and looking at all the greenery and the scenery around me. So yeah, we're in the woods talking about the garden. Well, first off, let me talk about my injury first. So I've been having issues with my collarbone on and off since about the end of April. And I think that it's part of just having the whole EDS thing, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which if you don't know what that is, I recommend Googling it. But I'll give you a brief synopsis of what it is because I really am into researching things, and that's kind of my jam. So the condition I have is called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So what that means is it's a connective tissue disorder that is genetically passed down from parents to children, or spontaneously combusts inside of somebody, whatever. And it basically affects your connective tissue, as in your tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. So basically all of those sorts of things inside of my body are very faulty. So my tendons and ligaments, they stretch way too far, causing my joints to be very hypermobile, which can lead to dislocations, partial dislocations, a lot of easy sprains, strains, tendon ruptures, things of that nature. It's a very painful condition that can be extremely debilitating, especially if you aren't able to keep very active and keep your muscle mass up, which helps hold the joints in place. And also, too, with the cartilage bit of it, I do have a lot of osteoarthritis, which is the old people arthritis from wear and tear. At 32 years old, I have a significant degree of arthritis throughout my entire body. So, with that being said, this collarbone issue has been a booger to deal with. It's also been really hard to try to work with milking the goats and getting the new goats trained because it hurts to use my whole left arm. So anything forward reaching, forward moving, or that basically, sorry, little tree. I really got to remember to do something about this tree. But so anything that's, moving around, as you guys can see, my collarbone on this side is moving quite a lot, which is abnormal to move that much. I would show you this side, but it's really quite incredibly painful for me to move my left arm in anything in this vicinity. So with that being said, now that we've got that whole issue out of the way, things have been going really well with the goats. So I've been milking Rosie still every day. I use the little milk machine thing because my hands cannot cope with the repetitive motion and the tediousness of milking her out by hand for any length of time without severe amounts of pain. Oh, that little toad just startled me. Whew, you made me jump, little buddy. Oh, he's gone. He hopped too fast. That really startled the bejesus out of me. I kept hearing something off camera moving, but there's a board right underneath of you guys that's holding the camera up for me. So I couldn't see anything. I thought it was going to be a squirrel because that's happened to me before while sitting here. There's a big tree. I'll show you. This is the tree that I call elder maple. He is huge. And here's the board in front of me. So the one time I was filming, or I was just sitting out here, and right on that part of the roots right there, a squirrel jumped up and was just sitting there staring at me like, what's she doing behind a tree? And stuff. So it was kind of, I was half expecting that to have just happened, but it was a little toad that was like this big, so it's a little cutie. Anyways, so with the goats, I've been milking Rosie still consistently every day with the milk machine. She's doing really well with that. She's still producing about a quart a day, which is really impressive since this is her first time ever having babies, which for those of you that have not been following along in our journey, her babies did not make it. So I've been having to milk her pretty much from the get-go so she did not get mastitis or any illness or injury or anything of the sort like that. So we are not planning on breeding her until she dries up because our goal was basically to breed everybody just so then that way we could get an abundance of milk and then to sell whatever kids we got to then pay for hay for the goats. So she's been doing really well. She's gotten down pat with the whole routine. And I've been working on training the other 3 mamas to being milked. That little toad is still hopping around behind me. I keep hearing it and I'm like, what is back there? It's actually kind of far that way now. I'm surprised I can still hear him. But anyways, so I've been working on training the other mamas to getting up in the stanchion, which Fawny, this is her second time having a kid, so she's very much used to the whole routine of hopping up there, getting her grain, getting milked, getting all that sort of business done. So her daughter Bonita, this is her first time, and then Daisy, which is Rosie's sister, this is also her first time getting milked and stuff. So they've been doing really well. They're getting used to the routine, getting used to getting their heads locked into the stanchion and stuff. It has been a little bit tricky because we do have a broody chicken that's right by there. So she sometimes tries to steal the goat's grain and then, tries to fight the goat. But anyways, it's been going well. So they've all been learning the routine and they've all, had no issues with their babies. So that's fantastic because that is something that has been a little bit of a struggle to try to figure out a routine and an order for all of them, but now they've just figured out that it doesn't matter what order they come in, that they will still get... There's a really loud truck coming through. I'll pause it. And we're back. So they've all been doing really, really well with getting milked and learning the routine and understanding that it doesn't matter what order they come to the stanchion in, that each of them will get their turn at the grain. And while they're in there, I've been, washing the udder and messing around with their udders. So then that way they get really used to the whole sensation of me touching them there. Because some goats, man, I tell you, the first couple times you touch them, they're like jumping and spastic and freaking out the entire time. So nobody's doing that anymore. They've gotten used to it enough. I'm hoping that once everybody gets a really good routine in, and I also get a good routine in, and this whole issue gets fixed up a little bit, and somehow tightens itself. I have no idea what's going to happen with that. So I'm hoping that once all that gets sorted out, then I can bring you guys along and show you guys some of the morning routine of how intense it is, because it takes a lot of time and energy to milk all of them, even when I'm just fake milking them and stuff. But so anyways, about the garden now. So with the garden, everything is going really, really well. It's been really nice because this is our second year of gardening here. So it's been really nice that everything was already essentially established. We had just minimal garden bed prep to do to plant the garden. But because of being able to add so much different manure and mulches and things of that nature to the garden this year, everything is exploding with growth and with life and is just thriving, which is a huge blessing because when we lived in the camper on my in-laws' property, it was starting a garden from scratch. First year gardens are basically guaranteed to flop on you. Especially if you do a large garden, it is very difficult to get it to even eke out much of produce at all, even to be slightly productive. It is very hard. Whereas the second year of doing a garden in the same space, it's a lot easier. So for the last, for 2 years in a row, we started a new garden and then, had to deal with the ramifications of really terrible soil quality and needing to make a ton of amendments, but not really having the availability to do that. So I'm really grateful that we're going to actually have a harvest this year. So all of our green beans, they have flowers on them all over the place. There's a whole bunch of little tiny itty bitty green beans that are this big, which is really, really exciting because we have not added beans to our pantry in over 2 years. Okay. Green beans are our family's favorite vegetable to eat throughout the year. And I really don't like store-bought green beans. I like garden fresh or fresh canned, home canned green beans. That is what I like. So I'm really jazzed that that's going to be filling up the pantry here soon. But with saying that, it also is kind of an intimidating time of year, especially to be walking into it with a prolonged injury like I have right now, because of the fact that harvest season is very busy. There's a lot of work. It's a lot of heavy lifting. It's, canners are very heavy when they're full, and it's all lifting things outward. I really want to just lift that other arm, but I know it's going to hurt. It's all lifting things up and out and shoving things forward, which those motions hurt like the dickens for me to do that. So I'm looking forward to harvest season. I'm looking forward to canning this stuff, but I'm also really not looking forward to it because it's going to be very painful for me and stuff. So I'm just I'm hoping that maybe with rest, maybe this will get better, but seeing as how it keeps getting slightly better than getting worse and getting slightly better than getting worse and stuff, I'm kind of thinking that it's probably one of those things that I'm going to need some medical intervention and assistance with, or maybe a brace, or maybe physical therapy. I don't know. But But I got to get this thing figured out because I can't keep going on like this. Like this is not okay. This is not comfortable and stuff. I'm going to show you guys for grotesque factor and stuff. Mind you, there are some shadows on me, so it isn't very normal looking. But yeah, like everything moves and shifts in ways that it should not shift and stuff. It's just kind of super movie, and it's not supposed to be. Surprisingly, that didn't hurt too bad. Maybe I popped it into place better. I don't know. But so yeah, that's about all that's been happening around here, is trying to get a better routine going, because it's not very sustainable for it to take me 2 hours every morning to take care of animal chores. Really not. That's something that more homesteaders on YouTube should warn people about. It's a good video topic for next time, of, you know, the realities of doing animal chores and stuff and how long it takes, and, you know, the realities of doing dairy goats. That'll probably be the next video. So anyways, that's about it for today. I'm going to maybe see if ice will sort of help this and try to go in and just rest some and try to figure out a positioning that's more comfortable for my arm and for my collarbone and shoulder area and stuff without trying to injure it further, because I really need this booger to like get back into better working order, because as it stands right now, there's a lot of things that I'm potentially going to be missing out on this summer because of not being able to, you know, fully move my arm and, you know, things of that nature. So anyways, if you guys got some positive vibes you could spare to send my way, mainly just in this collarbone area, I would appreciate it. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed my content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.